Jacob. Jacob.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
Alright, look at these two pictures. They both show power plants. What is the difference between this one and this one? Well, this one's a traditional coal-fired plant, and this is a nuclear power station. I'm Jacob Violet, and today we're going to talk about energy, specifically atomic energy. Now, energy is a hot topic today in the world. It has to be cleaner and more efficient. Unfortunately, most energy is still produced by fossil fuels. Using these, especially coal, release carbon dioxide, sulfur, and bunches of other hazardous materials into the atmosphere. Though many renewable technologies are now being developed, one stands alone in the ability to produce a massive amount of power: atomic energy. Harnessing the massive energy stored in an atom is a viable way to alleviate the world's energy shortage and should be implemented in greater quantity. Now, why is this? There are many benefits to this technology, including the energy potential, positive environmental impact, future technology development. There's also been an increased safety level and waste management improvement. And we'll debunk some misconceptions commonly held. First, we'll talk about the energy potential. According to Friedman, in atomic energy, 1 ounce of uranium, about the size of this chalk piece, is equivalent to 4 tons of coal and doesn't produce any greenhouse gases. It's also very plentiful in the U.S. Like, here's a map of uranium deposits. They're in red. I was surprised there's a bunch in Ohio, but there is. It's also found in seawater and is easily harnessed. A large plant can produce more energy than over 150 wind turbines. And you know how much space they take up. Okay, now for the positive environmental impact. As stated by Bard in his documentary, there's no release of greenhouse gases, but 25 billion tons of CO2 was burned per year, or released from fossil fuels per year. There's a small environmental footprint in terms of the size of the structure. And here's just a picture of a nuclear cooling tower. The only thing released is steam, and it's non-radioactive. The steam has no effect on the environment. Okay, now for the new technology. Nuclear and continuing nuclear energies is key to developing tons of new technology, including fusion, which involves hydrogen atoms. The big countries right now are Taiwan and China. They're actually developing reactors that burn waste from old reactors. So their waste is going to be reused into products that will decay in under 10 years. The U.S. has no projects like this currently in motion. And all of our reactors are essentially first and second generation, where these third generation reactors are much more efficient. Okay, now about the waste. Of course, all reactors produce waste. And as stated, it can be reused in a lot of these newer reactors. But even then, all the waste produced in the world in 1 year would fit in a 2-story building the size of a basketball court. That's everything. The main problem with the waste is where to store it. Even though a lot of these storage facilities are fairly safe, there hasn't been any major catastrophe with one yet. You got the NIMBY, not in my backyard. And this one's just showing the windmills. You don't want those in your backyard. And that's the main opposition to prevent waste from being stored until it can be reused. Then the other question is safety. People have heard about Fukushima. That was a reactor designed in 1963. They haven't been able to build these new reactors because of the stagnation. Safety procedures are now much improved from Chernobyl and Fukushima. In fact, more people have died from fossil fuels than all commercial nuclear accidents combined, according to Kahneman in Nuclear Energy. And here's just a short clip about the safety testing of retaining walls at nuclear facilities. And this is the impact of, say, a terrorist were to crash a jet plane into the wall over there. That's the first of 3 walls, and here's what happens. As you see, the plane just imploded and the wall remained entirely intact. And that's the first of 3. There's 2 outer containment walls, concrete and steel, and then the nuclear reactor itself actually has a second wall that encloses the reactor. Okay, so now let's talk about some misconceptions held about nuclear power. The first is probably that the reactor can explode like a bomb. That is not true. The most catastrophic failure is a meltdown. That's where the uranium fuel melts. Mainly, it's just a big waste of money because the uranium rods are very expensive. The danger is actually from steam. Like if water escapes, then steam builds up, that can cause an explosion, and that's why Fukushima exploded. There was no release of the steam pressure. And in fact, more damage was caused by fear than radiation after Chernobyl. All right. In conclusion, nuclear energy can supply the needs of the world. It's clean, it has massive energy potential, and it has much improved safety and waste management, especially with newer reactor designs. If we give nuclear energy a chance and work to improve our infrastructure, we can produce cleaner energy more efficiently with fewer greenhouse gases. Now, which planet's the better one?